Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications.
Threat that they are going to bring to Jordan Hare on Saturday?
Well, a good football team that's well coached, and you know they're deep at some places, and you know they look like an SEC football team, particularly in the O-line and the running backs and tight ends, and quarterback's very, very dangerous. Big defensive line, inside guys are huge. You know, 40 is a preseason All-SEC guy at defensive end, and they replaced a couple linebackers, but these guys seem solid. Secondary, they're going to challenge you more. We haven't been challenged like this. They're going to get up and press you and play, you know, a mixture of quarters and man and some three.
With SEC play starting this week and it being Arkansas at home, what is the biggest threat?
And welcome here live at 7420 West Sunset Avenue here at CMAX Southern Kitchen. It's our Thursday edition here live as they're one of our major sponsors. It's also brought to you by Lindsay and Associates. And we'll let you hear excerpts from head coach Hugh Freeze of the Auburn Tigers talking about the Arkansas Razorbacks. Why is it that other people can see, Demetrius, do you think? Other people kind of have a better outlook on this Arkansas football team than their in-state fan base?
Yeah, you know, I think Auburn has to give us respect. I think with the situation they're in right now, and especially how their season has started off, I think they have to give us respect. I think even when you talk about on a national level, I think people consider us on even par with Auburn. So I think it's one of those teams that they have to hype themselves up for this game, because this is going to be a big one for both Arkansas and Auburn.
Question for today is this a must-win? I mean, what would you rate this football game coming up on Saturday in the Plains versus the Auburn Tigers for the Arkansas Razorbacks? On a scale from 1 to 10, how big is this game? I'll start off. I'll rate it about 8. I think it's going to have some – it could be a momentum game. If Arkansas can go on the road and get this early season conference win, with the type of team this is, with the chip on the shoulder that they have, you can kind of build confidence because it can take you into that game at Jerry's World. In the Southwest Classic, a chance for the trophy, and kind of in the driver's seat, you'll be sitting at 1-0. But I think this game is really big because it's the first conference game, and they always say the first one is always the toughest one. So if you get that one under your belt, now you got some wiggle room if you do stub your toe along the season.
Yeah, you know, I think I give it a 7. I think with the pressure, and you know, I think you made a good point. If Arkansas can go 4-0, you know, with the remainder of these games, and be 4-1 when Tennessee comes in, that'll be game day. So I think it's huge. I think even when you talk about just the opinion that the fan base has on Sam Pittman right now, I think he's getting a lot of unjust heat, but heat nonetheless. And I think it's something that he has to deal with it. And I think the only way he can deal with that is by winning games.
It's just, and it really sucks that you have certain people in the media, not to mention any names. I thought it was really good that Joe Klein came out with an apology through social media, because I think what was led I mean, I won't name names throughout the social media, but certain people take things without any type of factual information, and they jump on and go with the flow. And I think that's what happened in this story. It was so great I had a chance to listen to Joe Adams and Jarius Wright. And all you heard on Sunday and Monday, Sam Pittman, he had to be to blame for this. And that was not the case. That was not the case at all, which was so baffling to me that people were putting that type of tag on Sam, because I've been around Coach Pittman, even when he was offensive line coach, and never once did I ever get that feel that he would be one of those coaches that would keep former players out of the locker room had he become the head coach. And I remember, I'll go back to his press conference, that was something that he really stressed, to bring back the former players to be part of this family. So I think a lot of the social media, the same way that you criticize, you should be on social media retracting your statement and making an apology to this man, because he was ridiculed throughout Sunday and Monday for something that he had no
worldly idea.
I mean, come on, but
no
it was
idea.
all Sam Pittman, and it, like I said, it's just so bad that we have guys in the media that take any situation and try to turn it into clickbait. And I understand that you have to create content. I get all that, but to post and report things and write stories without having any factual information, I just think is not very cool.
Yeah, I just think, I want to shout out Joe Klein for just taking accountability. I think in a world where people get on Twitter and Instagram and social medias and say what they want to say and then don't take accountability when they're wrong. They're ready to, talk negative about anybody. But, again, you have to stand on what you say. And, when you mess up and say something wrong, hey, if you know you're wrong, fix it. And
that's one thing, Demetrius, we always do. We will never report without having solid information.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's not about clickbait here on the Hill Media.
Not.
I mean, we want to report the truth, because you got to stand on, like you say, you got to stand on business, stand on what you say. And we're not ever going to do anything or try to stand on anybody's grave to make On the Hill or ourselves look taller. That's not cool.
Absolutely not.
It's not cool.
And going forward, if we do happen to say something that does strike someone wrong with a comment that we say, we're not personally ever attacking individuals.
Right.
I personally try to keep it sports. Now, if you don't like what I have to say about the comment that I make about sports related and not the individual as a person, hey, we can talk about it off air, and I can give you my opinion and you can give me yours. But again, Pat, I think we're here to give our fan base and our listeners our honest opinion.
Right.
And we have a lot of insight. So, again, we try not to report anything wrong or make personal attacks at anybody. So we just wanted to clear that up.
We're going to have picks as we go along throughout the show today. But we want to make a note, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, the Fayetteville Bulldogs rank, I believe some have them number 1, some have them number 2. We'll be playing a very, very, very good Texas High Tiger team. Arkansas versus Texas, another big-time matchup. If you're not doing anything, come out to Harmon Field. And if you just can't make it out to Harmon Field, be sure and tune in right here on the Hill Media TV, as we will have the live broadcast live from Harmon Field. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock, but we will have pregame things that you can tune into leading into that game.
And if y'all didn't get a chance, Pat put on a great episode yesterday with Casey Dick. If you get a chance, go to our social media, On the Hill Media, and that's on our YouTube channel, and check out the interview we did with Rhett Tillwell and Casey Dick. Man, they gave us some great insight on this game versus Texarkana, and I think it'll be content you enjoy.
Man, we've been with the Dogs for a long time, and I don't think this may be.
I got adopted.
This might be the biggest game that this program under Casey Dick and that staff to date.
Nah.
Well, you never can say it's bigger than state championship. I understand that.
But I say
regular season game.
I say for this group of kids. I'll say for this team thus far this year, this is the biggest game, and might be the biggest game outside of the state championship if they make it.
I'll say the biggest game since we've been covering in my time of being the voice of the Bulldogs. I'll say this is the biggest regular season non-conference game.
Well, didn't they play Bryant one regular? No, that was playoffs.
They did play Bryant one non-conference year.
I thought it was one non-conference game.
I believe it was year 1.
Yeah, and
Hank Gibbs was the quarterback. played them twice that year.
That was another big game that I thought was really big, just because that was the beginning
year
of
one of Casey did.
Yeah, that was the beginning of actually their Bryant's run when they went on the championship run. So I thought that was a big game too.
You hate to see any other programs go on runs, but I mean Bryant, Conway, Bentonville, Fayetteville. Those have pretty much been the stalwarts of high school football over the last 10 or so years. Now, you've had your stints with North Little Rock, no disrespect, no one lead the Charging Wildcats out. Hey. But for the better half, it's been those big three, really.
I got Rags, our color analyst, says Coach Dick got the most swag in Arkansas for as far as coaches. Man, I can totally agree. Every time I come and D, where my Texas music at, man? You ain't got no tunes for me to come in. You ain't got no Boss Hog. You ain't got no Mike Jones. You know, he from East Texas, so he stay trying to say something about some Texas
We're gonna
rappers.
have a CMAC sideline report from each coach that Aaron Ragland will be bringing you during the ball games. So be sure to tune in. I mean, we're going to try to get all different angles and really keep you in tune to what's going on during those ball games on Friday nights. Just feel like the more you know, the more exciting the game can
Hey, Pat, I know we ain't got here yet, but I just wanted to make an announcement. I'm whooping Pat in these picks. I just want to tell y'all that.
Hey,
my bad.
Sometimes
I just had to,
you got to let people have confidence. Hey, you know what? I didn't get as much backlash after my my release on Monday.
It was noteworthy. I felt like it wasn't out of place. I felt both parties had the right to express themselves the way they did. You feel like the fan base does a little too much. Man, I feel like the fan base is on it. You know, I watched a podcast the other day, and they were talking about, and I want to get your take on this before we do the picks, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
The NIL and people donating the $100 towards the edge. And I'm not going to lie, after my guy broke down Arkansas budget, man, I think $100 is a little bit too much, Pat.
I think what he should have did, I think when you ask someone to come out of their pockets with $100, that the way you say NIL and then asking like that, it looks messy. I think people need to take the platform that Tennessee is doing. They're just doing the 10% increase throughout in their ticket sales. So basically, it's a talent fee. That the AD has put it up front that's what that's for, profit sharing. It's going to go for the athletes, and it's included in the tickets. That's not so much. That's not so bad. I mean, when you do these kind of things, NIL is like an amenity. I mean, college sports are amenities. I mean, you have to buy and pay for really nice things, and I think had they not worded like that. But I also saw a post by Coach Hunter said they picked up 100 new people,
and they are. I personally think they just asked for a little bit too much.
This is what I think. If Arkansas was to figure it out and not be so hesitant, this place would be real. This university and these athletic programs could be really, really scary. I mean, it's just the state and these people, they just have to figure it out and realize just how powerful and the resources that they have, and just how much of a monster athletically the university could be.
No, and I do, but also the university has to understand that just because the university benefits, everybody donating to the university doesn't benefit.
Right.
So when you're saying, hey, man, everybody donate $100, then you're talking about over 12 months, that's $1,200. Like, that adds up to the average Arkansan,
right.
So I can understand. That's why I say I'm not opposed from him asking people to put towards the state product, because it does bring the state attention, indirectly or directly,
right,
depending on who you're associated with.
So I tell people, when you go to the casino, they got certain types of rooms. Types of rooms. Then you have to decide if you want to go in that big room. You got to buy. It costs big money to win big. That's just what it is, people. I mean, that's what Arkansas is. I mean, you're right there in the SEC, and if you want to get in that upper echelon with the Texas, the Alabamas, the Tennessees, the LSUs, you're going to have to invest big the way that they're investing.
I'm going to be curious to see when this first bracket of playoffs come out. I'm eager to see what teams make it, and then I'm going to check and see what type of money was spent for those programs to be where they are.
I think Tennessee. I think that's the blueprint. Tennessee and their AD seems to be out front and have been in this NIL since day one, and hence you see how their program is really starting to come back in. And even you look at, I mean, I know Arkansas is not the most generous or the wealthiest state, I should say, but neither is Ole Miss. I mean, you just have to you have to come to a point, and those people at Ole Miss have said we're tired of being average. Whatever it's going to take to get ourselves under Lane Kiffin ahead of the game, we're going to be ahead of the game, and they've increased their NIL. And, hey, it's put up or shut up. That's just that's where everybody is, and it's just not Arkansas. I think that's what it is right now in college athletics, with NIL being where it is, profit sharing, the transfer portal. It is the acquisition business. Demetrius and I, we've been saying this for several years. It is. You're going to have to pay to play. I mean, we have 12 teams. Only 12 teams can make it, and it's going to be those teams that adapt to college football the way it is now.
And to me, that if people now are going to be investing in every single kid, right, on this roster,
right,
to me, recruiting gets even more competitive now, because now we don't have the rooms to just let students on the team just for the GPA purposes, like back in the past it has been. You know, you literally had X amount of spots to make sure you offset that GPA and make sure things are in good standings. But now it's like, hey, this is no longer about scholastics. This is about athletics. And we have to differentiate what's going on here, and I'm just eager to see how they use that money to get in that competitive range.
And you hear a lot of people. Well, you got Tyson, Stevens, J.B. Hunt. You have all these people with all this money. Why don't they take care of it? Well, they can't right now because there are still legalities and certain things that you can and cannot do. I know you want to talk about, well, the university made $170 million profit. Well, they can't distribute that within their athletes until the legalities are taking place, and then they have the okay. I mean, there's a lot of things the universities would like to do with these athletes, so don't think that these guys are just pocketing the money for themselves. No, there is still a process to everything.
I think if they can just get these 2 coaches off our payroll, we're still paying Chad Morris and we're still paying Bielema. So, like, to me,
and why did that happen? Because that we decided to switch coaches, and that's what happens. People, you're still paying 2 coaches that's been gone for over 5. One coach has been gone longer than that, and we're still paying these guys. So that's why you have to be careful. It's not so much, hey, we'll fire these guys and then the debt goes away. You keep incurring more and more debt. And that's going to enhance your NIL.
And not only that, you're restarting. Because every time you do that, you say, like you say,
lose a class, you lose players.
4 classes.
Yes.
You lose 4 years, because it's going to take you 4 years to get all your guys.
Yes.
And it may take longer now, because now you have the transfer portal. So it's like, hey, these guys may be with me year 1, and 2, I might have a totally different team. So.
Well, hey, let's get into some picks before we take a real quick break and let you hear some excerpts from either Coach Pittman or a couple of young men that we had a chance to get in contact with throughout the week to kind of give us some outlook on this Auburn game. But first game, man, is it a big one if you're Mississippi State or Florida? Mississippi State host the Florida Gators.
This is ugly, Pat. This is ugly. I don't know what to go. Where's it at?
It's in Starkville.
I'm going Starkville then.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I just think Florida's got I just think it's just the wheels have come off, and I don't see them going back on. Another game real quick we want to get off into. Vanderbilt will travel to Como to take on the Missouri Tigers. I'm going to pick this as my upset special in the SEC.
Man, you just want Drinkwitz to lose that.
I'm going to pick this as my upset special. Half of that may be part of it, but I like this Vanderbilt team. I really like this Vanderbilt
team. They some scrappy jokers.
Hey, I like what Coach Clark has been able to do.
They're not the Vanderbilt of old where you say, man, we playing Vanderbilt. This is a win.
Right.
I think they're actually coming out there. Quarterback play seems to be high. I know they're high on the guy that transferred in. So I'm still going Missouri, though.
Now, let's go another big one this weekend down in Baton Rouge. UCLA takes on the Tigers of LSU.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm going to go with LSU.
I ain't saying nothing.
I think it's really tough for a team such as UCLA to go into a hostile environment like Death Valley that is in Red Stick, Baton Rouge, and get a win. I'm going to take LSU. But, hey, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back. You're listening to On the Hill and it's the talking season, live from CMAX Southern Kitchen. We'll be back.
Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it.
I think he's had a 40-something yard return this year as well. So they're really a good team. The freshman quarterback or redshirt freshman quarterback played really well last week. I think they want to run the football. They should. Hunter's a really good running back, and their line's big and physical.
Now you're turning the page, but you went back and looked at the film and everything. What did it tell you? Anything jump out that maybe was different than you thought in game?
Well, not really. I mean, after we, I felt like I was pretty much knew what went on. And a lot of times you have to go back and see who played well and who didn't and all that. But schematically, we just didn't play well at all. They had the ball most of the first half, and 15 play drive to start it, 2 play drive to score again. We just didn't play well defensively, especially in the first half and pretty much the entire game. Didn't tackle well. Had some missed assignments. Couldn't get lined up on some specialty blitzes. One of them, they were in the middle of the field. We worked it in practice. We just didn't get the communication right.
And welcome back here live to CMAX Southern Kitchen at 7420 West Sunset Avenue here in Town. They also have locations, if you can't make it out here to West Sunset, they have locations at 2190 MLK Boulevard in Fayetteville. Also 909 South Thompson in Springdale, and their newest location, 1625 West 412 in Siloam Springs. So try to get out to one of the 4 locations. I guarantee you will be back, and it is just that good. I'm telling you, it's so amazing, and the atmosphere just gets better and better each time we come out to do a show. And even when I come in, when I'm not working and doing these shows, I like to come in, and the atmosphere is still the same. Very cozy, very loving, Christian-like. And it's just that good. That's all I can say. But make sure you get out to one of those 4 locations and enjoy CMAX Southern Kitchen. But back to the University of Arkansas. Another question I would have to the viewers, and I'll pose it. Running game. What's the number for either team that if you reach this number, you should be having an advantage in the football game? I'll say whoever can rush for 220 will have the advantage in this football game. Who that might be, because I think both teams run the football. Hunter being the big back at Auburn, and we all know what JJ does for the University of Arkansas. I mean, 2 of the top 5 running backs as far as yardage. Now the one thing we can note is that Quindon Jackson leads the conference in broken tackles from the running back spot. And Arkansas is very good. I think the keys to the game, for me, will be who is better on third down. Arkansas is one of the better third down converting teams in the nation. I think if they can continue to run the football and stay really efficient on third down, I anticipate this team to come out with the win. I won't tell you my score or the player of the game yet. You ain't getting that out of me. But I do think Arkansas is going to win this game.
Man, I think the key is the turnovers. I think you go back to the Oklahoma State game and you tell your team, man, if y'all go out and play like y'all did against Oklahoma State and you eliminate the turnovers,
good point.
You guys should come out here winners. And I think that's similar things that I think Sam Pittman will be telling his team, like, hey, guys, you're better than what you played against UAB, and you're not the team that lost to Oklahoma State. We need to be showing people who we are this week. And I kept saying it, Pat. I said these first 4 games, you're going to learn everything you needed to learn about Arkansas.
Right,
And I
good
think
point.
this will be the nail in the coffin to say, hey, this is the identity. I don't care what we say about Taylor. I don't care about what we say about the run game. I don't care about what we say about the defense. After this game, Arkansas has shown you who they are, and this is what you'll get for the rest
When
of the
you
year.
look at this game, Arkansas comes out of this game. If they can come out of this game 3-1, I mean, and you really look at the landscape of the remaining portion of their schedule, they have a neutral site game at A&M. That's not a road game in Jerrysboro. And then you look at Fayetteville. Then you have a week off. You're back at Fayetteville. Then you're at Mississippi State. Back at Fayetteville against Ole Miss. And then you get another week off. And then you're at Fayetteville back-to-back weekends when you take on Texas and Louisiana Tech. And then you finish out at Columbia, Missouri. So by my calculations, when you come out of this Auburn game, you only have 2 true road games in your last 8. The rest of your season is pretty much going to be played in your borders of your own state. So I feel like if Arkansas can win this game, that gives them momentum into the Texas A&M game. And I think if you're able to get the ball rolling before 1-2-0 in the conference, it's going to be a hell of a night in Fayetteville, Arkansas when Tennessee comes to town, because
It will.
you kind of expect Arkansas to be able to crack that top 25, which brings game day or SEC down or one of those major circuits to Fayetteville and maybe get that 7 o'clock time slot.
And Pat, I'm really hoping Arkansas turns the corner this week. Like, I'm really hoping this is our coming out party that we can say, hey, we here to play. I think with T. Will, he's going to be very, 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 very aggressive when you talk about defense. We know he's going back to his alma mater, so I think it's going to be
which I think is extra motivation for that defense.
Absolutely. And to come out and play the way they did last week with his absence throughout the week, with his birth of his new child. So, again, I think
a lot of family going to be there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big game, and I think the defense is who comes out and makes the plays to get this dub.
Yeah, I think, and you know, there's a big side note to this. Auburn, and as we visited with Fernando Carmona earlier in the week, as players were made available, expressed, you know, even after committing to the University of Arkansas, Auburn still recruited him heavily, and it came down to the Tigers or the Hogs, and he just felt more at home, felt like his heart was in Fayetteville. But so you got to think he's going to have a little extra motivation when he goes back, because I think that was one of the first 2 starts of his entire collegiate career.
Hey, Pat, my boy Alex said he saw hot sauce on the table. He want to know where we at. Tell him where we at.
C-Max Southern Kitchen. We're here at 7420 West Sunset Avenue. But, hey, Alex, if you need to get out and you're looking and you're in town, hey, and you're in Fayetteville, try 2190 MLK Boulevard. If you're not there and you're going by in Springdale, go to 909 South Thompson. And even if you're out that way towards Siloam Springs, you can catch it at 1625 West 412. They have their C-Max there, and it's just that good.
Hey, and Alex, word to you. Come to town, I'm going to take you C-Max on me. So when you come to town, let me know.
Yes.
I'm going to take you to C-Max. It's on me.
Yes. Alex does a great job. If you're looking for a photographer, if we have any viewers in the Little Rock area or whatnot, be sure to hit up Alex King. Go to his social media page, hit up Alex.
Fire.
I'm talking about you want big time photos?
Fire. That's
the guy. AK is where you go.
Fire, bro.
AK is very fire. But, hey, thanks for the reach out, Alex. And like I said, when you get in town, C-Max on the
Hey, he said he promised not to eat till he reached C-Max.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's worth it.
I got you, man.
It's worth it, bro.
I got you.
We're going to make sure you have plenty to eat.
Oh, yeah, I got
We'll
you.
definitely make sure you get plenty to eat. But, hey, real quick, back to our picks. Georgia's off this week. Kentucky will host Ohio. I got to take.
With the Ohio? With what?
Just regular Ohio, not Ohio
okay.
State. I'm gonna take Kentucky. They got to get in the win, Colin.
I think they definitely get in the win. I think with the way they played Georgia, I think they gave them a little added motivation to see, man, we might can compete and be a better team than we are. So I go Kentucky.
Georgia Southern goes to Oxford. We already know how that's going to go. It's a blowout, not a matter of if, it's just by how much.
Man, do they play anybody?
I'll take Lane Kiffin. Hadn't played very much. Just now, let's talk about who Ole Miss has played.
When is Ole Miss going to play somebody?
Ole Miss opened up with Furman in Oxford.
Oh, man.
Ole Miss then played Middle Tennessee in Oxford.
Man, we need their schedule.
Ole Miss made a trip to Wake Forest. Not very good. And now they're back in Oxford. And they'll be in Oxford next week to take on Kentucky. So, out of Ole Miss's 5 First 5 games, 1 road game. 4 at the house and 1 time on the road. And this is after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arkansas, on the other hand, would have played away from Fayetteville 4 out of the 5 games.
Yep. But when you got the Little Rock game, you got to give him mulligan. So you say 3.
Yeah.
Got to say
so
3.
3 of the 5 games have been outside the borders in their first 5. So they would have played 2 times in Fayetteville halfway into their season. Just 2 home games, in which we're talking UAB and Tennessee. But the back end, I mean, it favors the Razorbacks, as you only have 2 road trips at Mississippi State and at Missouri. If this team can get the confidence that they need going into that back end, this could be a pretty good little year for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I just think it starts with this game that we see Saturday. I think they have to get the momentum going. Even though they won last week, some people are looking at last week as a loss with the style. I don't understand that because a win is a win. That
baffles me. I'll say it again, as Nolan said, an ugly win sometimes goes a long way better than a pretty loss.
So I would say
they've had their pretty loss.
Yeah.
So they got that ugly win.
I can agree. I can agree.
Yes.
But I think, man, again, they get this game going. I think they're gonna get a little swagger about themselves, and then go in Texas A&M feeling real good.
Now I got a question. You went to you've covered this Arkansas Auburn game several years ago, back when they got beat, and I mean, which was so ironic. T. Will and both Marcus Woodson were on the coaching staff at Auburn that weekend.
I think it was 55-3.
I hear they got a bad. I hear the way they have you situated in the press box is not a very good.
You know me, I'm VIP. I don't know nothing about the press box. You know, I be on the field, baby. So I don't know nothing about the press box.
See, you saw Barkley and the Big Hurt that weekend.
Yeah. They had
Bo was there.
No, he had a video. No, Bo was there. Okay. They had the video, and then Bo came, and then Charles Barkley was there. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Press box I don't know nothing about that press box, my boy.
Well, let's get back on the picks. Akron makes its way to Columbia to take on South Carolina. I'll take the Gamecock.
Yep, Gamecock.
Rocket looked pretty good last Saturday versus LSU.
I mean, Rocket's not bad. I think he just got out of shape and was a little beat up, man. I never thought he was a bad player.
Next up for the Texas A&M Aggies, they're in C-Stat hosting Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
I'll take the Aggies. BG just ain't got it.
I'm gonna go A&M. I gotta go SEC, man.
Now let's get into a little bit more. Let's toughen it up a little bit.
Where Alabama?
Alabama's off this week, but Tennessee travels to Norman to take on the Sooners of Oklahoma. Ooh. I think it's gonna be close in the first half, but I'm gonna take Rocky Top in a big one on Saturday. Welcome to the SEC, Oklahoma.
Ooh, where my boy?
I want to read this gauntlet of what Oklahoma has to deal with. Wilk's going to the game, by the way.
I got that. You know who I'm about to. I'm gonna. Hey, Coach Wilk, if you watching, just know I'm riding with you, baby. I'm gonna try to ride with you this week. Now, don't let me down.
Now, this is the gauntlet that Coach OU is about to go through. OU will take on Oklahoma and Norman. Then OU will travel to Auburn. They will have an off week. Then they will go to the Red River Shootout and play Texas. Then OU will travel. They will host South Carolina in Norman.
That'll be a game still.
Then OU will travel to Oxford to take on Ole Miss.
That'll be a game.
They'll play Maine, of course. Then OU will travel to Columbia to take on Missouri. Then they'll have a break, and then they'll finish against Alabama and Norman, and then go to Red Stick Baton Rouge to take on LSU. So when you look at their conference schedule, they've got Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama, and LSU. Woo! Don't look good for the Sooners.
That's a dogfight. But I'm still riding with my boy.
They don't go 500 in this season.
Coach Wilk, I'm riding with you this week.
They don't go 500 in this season.
Look, don't let me down, Coach Wilk. I'm riding with you because
they'll start off 0-1 because it's not after that first quarter in Norman on Saturday.
And Wilk, I trust.
Nico and the boys are gonna go crazy.
And Wilk, I trust, Coach Wilk. If you watching this, man, I'm calling you and talking mad.
You'll reach out at some point.
If them Sooners lose,
he had been in a good mood these last few weeks. He had been in a good mood. I spoke to him last night.
Hey,
had
man,
a great conversation.
I gotta call my guy then. I gotta call my guy.
Next up, let's get back to the picks. And we're going to go with, I think we've come up on the main one. don't you think?
Arkansas?
No, Texas will take on
Texas.
UL Monroe.
Oh, no.
Man.
Hey, that boy Archie. Hey, that boy Archie is balling.
Hey, the
boy
Arch
ballin'.
Manning
That boy.
hype continues.
That boy is the he got
Another
all the
big one.
Mannings in one.
Hey, I just like the fact that they were able to lose Heisman.
The running back.
Lose Ewers and then just go with the next future Heisman candidate in Arch Manning. And don't seem to skip it.
Is he out
Ewers
the game?
went 14 to 15. Yeah.
I thought he was. I thought
He'll
he was
be
just a
out.
back.
I think Ewers is going to be out maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Is what I'm
he
hearing.
ain't getting his.
Prior to getting out of the game, the guy was 14 to 15.
He ain't getting his position back, man.
Man,
he ain't getting his.
I think. They're in a good situation. That's
they
a
are,
good win.
but,
And
man,
Mr. Baxter.
Man,
Hey, this guy.
I mean, that boy Archie is balling, man.
Woo.
And I was and I
5 touchdowns he accounted for.
And what I can say is everybody was talking smack about, he plays little ball in Louisiana. He don't play nobody.
Man,
And
that
da da
don't
da. And he's been going out there handling his own.
Baby, bloodlines.
Hey.
Last one. Let's get to the main one. And while we're here to talk, Arkansas and Auburn. Give me your player of the game
Auburn.
and the final score.
Man, I gotta stick with my guy. I can't go wrong with JJ, man. I think they keep feeding the beast, and he gonna eat.
You staying with him?
I'm staying with him. I'm riding with him till the wheels fall off.
Man, that's loyalty right there.
JJ for offensive player.
He's proven.
Let me go. Let me see. It's gonna be a lot of running. I'm going Brad Spence for my defensive player. I think he rack up some tackles this game. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't really have this being a shootout, so I'm gonna go. I say Bobby Good for 35, so I at least got to go 35.
Okay.
35-21, Arkansas.
I'm going to go as my defensive player. I'm going to go Xavier Sorey. I think number 10 is going to continue on the path that he's been on. He has some experience playing in that environment last year at Georgia, and I think he's going to be able to draw from that and really inspire his teammates. So I think Xavier Sorey is going to really be a problem in the backfield for both the running back and Mr. Brown, the red shirt freshman quarterback. I think having a freshman at quarterback spot, I think you're going to see a lot more pressure from T. Will. I think you'll see a lot of zero coverage. So I'm going to go Xavier Sorey. I'm also going to go, I think Taylon Green. I think Taylon gets back and plays even better than what he did at Oklahoma State. I look for 10 to really, really get himself going and be the better quarterback. I think he'll be the difference in the game. And I think Arkansas is going to win it because I'll stand on business like I said before. I think Arkansas is going to get 35 points every single time Bobby Petrino.
Wait. What they score against UAB?
37.
Okay.
37. 31 at Oklahoma State. It'd be 39-31.
So we give Bobby 30. We give Bobby 30 every game.
I'm going to say Arkansas wins this game 38-17. Just playing a great road game. They always seem to have better performances when they play in the plains during the daytime.
I hope
and
so.
when you go back to it, if Arkansas wins this game, it'll be 3 years in a row that the road team has come away victorious. So I just think this team is better than what we saw last year when Auburn ran for over 350 yards. And just seemed to do whatever they wanted to do. But that was about the time when the week prior they had been knocked out of bowl contention and all heck was lost. So you kind of can understand this is game one of what they're trying to play toward, and that's a very special season. So I think Arkansas is going to win it 38-17.
Man, I hope these boys don't let me down this week, man. I'm gonna be disappointed. I ain't gonna care.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
I'm gonna be disappointed. I will be disappointed.
We have a lot to talk about on Monday.
Pat, if they lose this game, this automatically offsets your 8-4 now. I just want you to know that.
We got to still stand on business. But hey, we want to give a shout out to C-Mac Southern Kitchen for all their wonderful sponsorship and belief in us on the Hill each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be back. I believe we might be here. Or
I
in
like
Fayetteville,
I like it
wherever we'll be, you'll be able to tune in. But, hey, we're going to be at Fayetteville at the MLK 2190 location every Wednesday from 1 to 1:45 for the KC Dick Show. You don't want to miss next week. It's the beginning of conference play. We're going to have some really good players come in, and you'll get a chance to meet the Bulldogs and kind of get behind the scenes of the Purple Dog because, as we always say, it's a dog's world. But, hey, tomorrow, if you're not doing anything, make sure you tune in. Coverage should start up around 6:15.
We'll be
if
replaying
you missed
the
this week's
episode.
Casey Dick show, you can catch that, and we'll have sideline reports sponsored by CMAX. CMAX will be the chief sponsor of all sideline information coming from the games each and every Friday at any location that we're at. But, hey, for my producer, Demetrius, myself, hey, y'all have a great weekend. Tune in. 2:30, the Hogs kick it off. 7 o'clock tomorrow, the Tigers and the Dogs. It don't get any better than that. We'll see you on Monday. It's On the Hill, and it's been talking season on the Hill Media, live from CMAX Southern Kitchen at 7420, West Sunset Avenue. Y'all have a great one, and you know what we say. Let's get it.